Hey there, Brian Scheimer here. Welcome to A Minute in God's Word. So good to be able to take a moment with you and just to dive in and listen for God to speak. May Spirit speak mightily into your heart today through the Word. We've been working in the Sermon on the Mount over many, many weeks. I think I started sometime in October with Matthew 3, and then with the Sermon on the Mount probably in December sometime. And we've been working through a section, and twice Jesus had said, do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, and do not worry. Kind of the central statement he's just made in the Sermon on the Mount is to seek first God's kingdom and God's righteousness. And all these things, the things that we pant and desire after, will be added into our lives. So with that, we'll start today's section in God's Word. So Jesus says, do not judge, or you will be judged. For in the same way you judge another, you will be judged. With the measure you use, it'll be measured to you. How can you seek to take a speck of sawdust from your brother's eye when you have a plank in your own eye? Why do you say to your brother, let me remove that speck from your eye, when you have a plank in your own eye? You hypocrite! First remove the plank from your own eye, and you will see clearly to remove the speck from your brother's eye. Do not give what is holy to dogs, and do not cast your pearls before swine, for they will trample them and then turn and attack you. So that'll be where we close this portion of God's Word. So Jesus begins with that statement about judgment. Do not judge. Now, if we take it in the same kind of category as previous statements, do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, and do not worry, this statement falls in the category of a warning, a statement. Don't do this. What we learn about Jesus, that he places these warnings before the people to whom he is speaking. What would that tell about his understanding of people, or about his desires for people? It's interesting, right, that the things that Jesus chooses to say don't to, right? To not store up treasures on earth, because you can't serve God and money. And do not worry, because God already cares for you mightily. There's no need. You're not going to profit by worrying. And do not judge, or you will be judged. With the same judgment used, you will be judged. With the measure used, it'll be measured back to you. How often have you seen that take place? That with the same level in which you castigate another, it seems to ricochet back onto you, or actually comes from within you. With the same manner you hold something against another, have you noticed that you end up thinking that way against yourself and judging yourself with like words or language or hurtful tendencies? What about this language about don't give what is holy to dogs? Before we get to that, I guess that whole language about the plank, isn't that great? Jesus is such a great humorist. Do you see that as humorful, as full of humor? Humorful. Is that a word? But just that dynamic of the humor of take the plank out so you can see clearly. How often that which we notice in somebody else's life is what we already have in our own lives and refuse to take note of. And now what about this? About don't give what is holy to dogs, and don't cast your pearl before swine. What is Jesus doing? Well, it seems like, right, he's taking normal terminology that was used by the people of the day for the other. They're just dogs. They're pigs. And utilizing it to say, wow, guys, be careful with that which you value and don't throw it around. Is Jesus calling people dogs and pigs? I don't think so. But what could you learn about Jesus? That he's taking common terminology and utilizing it in this fashion. And what is that which is holy that he's talking about? Or pearls? Well, pearl is used with reference to the kingdom, right? The pearl of great price, that which is worth above all else. What might it mean for us to cast pearls, to throw out that which is full of treasure before people that don't value it or don't have the ability to value it? Interesting, this is the fourth do not, right? Do not judge, do not give what is holy to God. Dogs, do not cast pearls before swine. Boy, powerful words from Jesus. I don't know, how in your life might you see judgment coming through your mouth against another? And what might it mean for you to not use that language against another? I'll have to ponder more about what it might look like to not throw out that which is holy, sacred, pure, excellent, to throw it out in places where it doesn't matter. It's not going to perform any good purpose. This is all about language, isn't it? How do you use language? What might it mean for you to be careful with the words you speak about another and to another, as Jesus calls us here? Hey, just a little thought. May you have a great thought. May you have a great day. May you be filled up with the measure of God's goodness. Thanks for joining.